I see the comments and requests and I will act on them. Please remember to follow Geography World channel on Instagram and Facebook using the link shown on the screen. Please remember to like, share with your friends, and subscribe. For persons wishing to contact me privately, you may email me at geographyworld100@gmail.com. The link will be posted below. Welcome back to Geography World channel. For this video, I'll be looking at the May-June 2019 Geography Cape Unit 1 Paper 2. For this video, we'll be looking at question number 4. And question number 4 is from module number 3. And module number 3 looks at natural disaster, plate tectonics, flooding, right? So part A, we're to state 2 possible causes of the following types of flooding. So we have ravine flooding and coastal flooding. Now let us state 2 possible causes for these types of flooding. Now for the ravine, it occurs when the river channel cannot contain the available water and overflows onto adjacent land. Now, the ravine flooding is basically caused by heavy snow melt or heavy rainfall, or when a dam releases. So when a dam releases the water, it can cause a ravine, or when we have really heavy rainfall activities, or when we have heavy snow melt. Once you're able to state 2, you should get your marks there. And as it relates to coastal flooding, this is basically when the coastal areas are covered underwater, and they are caused by like storm surges associated with hurricanes, which can push water onto the land. We have water draining from the land, example, surface runoff. So when we have a very high surface runoff, this can cause coastal areas to be flooded as well. And we have high or extreme tides. When we have higher extreme tides, this can cause flooding to the coastal areas as well. List 2 for this, and you should get your 2 marks as well. For part B, you're asked to explain why hotspot volcanic islands are aligned in a linear fashion. Now, a volcanic hotspot is an area in the mantle from which heat rises and thermal plume flows deep in the earth. Now, high heat and the low pressure at the base of the lithosphere facilitate the melting of the rocks. Now, this melted material is called magma, and it basically rises through the cracks and erupts as volcanoes. Now, as the tectonic plates move over the stationary hotspot, because this hotspot is stationary, it doesn't move. So as the tectonic plate move over the stationary hotspot, the volcanoes are rafted away and new ones are formed in their places. So this results in the chain of volcanoes are in a line, such as the Hawaiian Islands. So what happened is that the hotspot is stationary, it doesn't move. However, the tectonic plate is actually moving. So once it moves, it brings the volcano that was formed along with it. So what happens is that these volcanoes, they are basically formed in a line. So because the plate is rafting it away, it seems as if it forms in a line. But the hotspot is stationary, and that's a key word that you must put in your explanation. For part C, it asks us to outline 4 negative impacts of flood. And 4 negative impacts of floods are that it basically can wash away people or cause persons to drown. It can affect animals, cars, and buildings as they're washed away or being damaged. We have contamination of drinking water supplies. We can have the outbreak of waterborne diseases, and we can have destruction of underground utilities due to flooding activities. So once you're able to just outline 4 negative impacts of flooding, you should be able to get your marks. Part D asks us to discuss 3 methods of predicting earthquakes that have proven to be unreliable. Now, there are a few methods that have been implemented or used to basically determine or predict earthquakes. However, there is no method that has proven to be 100% reliable. So I'm going to just tell you a few. So the first one is the abnormal animal behavior. So they basically observed the behaviors of like rats, snakes, and insects. They were basically recorded fleeing the areas before the earthquake back in historical time. So in China, short before the earthquake took place, mice fled houses, the dogs started to howl, the fishes jumped out of the water, and the giant panda, they started to mourn. So this was observed in China just before there was an earthquake. So this is one method that they have used, which is the abnormal animal behavior. So when they realize that these animals are behaving in an abnormal fashion, then they say that an earthquake is close by. It is not 100% effective, so it's not really a good method. Now, they also look at the radon gas emission, and the radon gas is a radioactive gas released when rocks are under stress. However, based on research, this method is not effective because the rocks, they go under stress, but they don't have to break to form an earthquake. They don't have to break any at all. However, the gas is still released, so this is not effective. There is also the earthquake lights, and this is basically the lights that come from the ground. This is definitely not effective. These are just some things that they are still working on. They look at the electric signals, and this is where they basically measure electric voltages conducted through the grounds. And this is not effective because even though they measured the electric signal, sometimes there are other activities taking place that will basically allow the earth to have a very high voltage, which indeed doesn't really have to be a earthquake, sorry. They use the magnetometer, and this is what they use to basically measure pulses from the Earth's magnetic field. It measures increases in Earth's movement and build-up of pressure. Now, so far, this is one that has it has worked, but not 80% or 70%. Is something that is still in the making, right? And they also map the one that they use most now is that they map epicenters and the frequency of previous earthquakes to see if there is a repeat location or time intervals pattern. So they use triangulation to basically determine if it is possible that you'll have another earthquake within this particular area. They try to locate where the plates are and where they have faults, just to see if they will be able to. However, these few methods that have been used to predict earthquakes, they are still not 100% effective. So they're still unreliable, right? So we don't know when we're going to have an earthquake. It is still something that scientists, they're trying to figure out.
We are at the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and please remember to like, share, subscribe, and turn on your post notification bell in order to receive more videos like these. Leave comments below suggesting topics that you would want me to present on. In the comment section below, comment the name of your school and the territory for a shout out in my next video. Until then, bye.